chapter 16. Judges chapter 16. Start at verse 15. Judges chapter 16, beginning in verse 15. Well, it's February, it's Love Month, Black History Month. Yeah, Dr. TJ's birthday this month. That's right. On the February birthday, people, let me see you. Wave your hand on my February birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear member. Happy birthday to you. Everybody's celebrating anniversaries. Everyone's celebrating anniversaries in February. The Jennings, how many years, sir? 55 years you've been married. God bless you. Salute you, son.
All right. Glory to God.
Amen. So we're in Judges chapter 16. We're starting a new series. We're in our theme for the year connecting the people to God, to purpose. We're still in our section on connecting to people. And the Lord has given me a new series for the month of February. And that series is What's Love Got to Do with It? All right. We're going to really dig in and talk about love this month. Since so many people be in love. We're going to see if you're in love after this month. I'm just kidding. Amen. But we just really want to biblically look at what love is. And one of the things God uses me in as part of my theological training is I've learned what things are by talking about what it's not. Being very clear about what it's not helps you to get closer to what something is. And so we're going to kick off our series today in that fashion. So are you in Judges chapter 16? We'll begin at verse number 15. Here beginneth the reading of God's holy word. And she said unto him, How canst thou say, I love thee, when thy heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times, and hast not told me wherein thy great strength lieth. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words, and urged him so that his soul was vexed unto death, that he told her all his heart, and said unto her, There hath not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak, and be like any other man. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent, and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, Come up this once, and for he hath shown me all his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her, and brought money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees. And she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And she said, The Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep, and said, I will go out as at other times before, and shake myself. And he wist not that the Lord was departed from him. But the Philistines took him, and put out his eyes, and brought him down to Gaza, and bound him with fetters of brass. And he did grind in the prison house. Howbeit the hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaven. So far the text. Let us pray. Father, we thank you for your word. It is a lamp unto our feet, and it's a light unto our path. We pray, God, that you would open our ears that we may hear you for real. Open our spirits that we will receive you and not block you. We pray, God, that your people will be empowered, inspired, free to really love you and love themselves and love other people. We give you thanks for this opportunity. Take my mind, your words, my mouth, your thoughts, my mind, my heart, your love. Have all of me. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. You may have your seat. Today I want to teach, as we start this new series on what's love got to do with it, by talking about sleeping with the enemy. Sleeping with the enemy. Most of us, regardless of how old we are, have probably heard this song. If you haven't heard the whole song, you've heard at least the first verse that says, If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. I listened to that song for the first time last night. I never listened to the whole song. I just knew that verse. And I was listening to the song. I looked at Ingram. I said, "Oh my!" And while that kind of Romeo and Juliet motif is romantic and brave, it's reckless. And in this season, it is reckless for God's people to have a "if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right" mentality. Why? Because we are living in end times. And in the last days, the enemy is working overtime to get as many people, as many of God's people to be deceived so that they won't go to hell, but they will be reprobated. Meaning that in their minds, they will believe that something that is wrong is right. And what God does is he stops fighting with you. He stops striving with you to believe the truth. And he just gives you over to believe that it's the truth. It never changes from being wrong. But in your mind, you believe that it's the truth. And as I was driving in this morning, the Lord says to me that the devil is busy selling tickets to a place called reprobation. Because a lot of God's people have that "if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right" mentality. The danger of that mentality is that it trains people to be governed by their emotions versus being governed by the Word of God. Telling people to do what you feel, live how you feel, do what you want, even if you know that it's wrong. And what happens is when you have a life that's led by emotions, when you have a life that's led by how you feel, then you have a tendency to block out reason and logic, wisdom and instructions. And when you get in that position, you now become a prey, become an easy target to the enemy. What happens to many people who live like this is that you will then consciously and willingly be in the midst of danger, eating with haters, and sleeping with enemies. And you think that it is a game, and you think that it is a way of life, not knowing that it is a setup from the enemy. We see this dynamic at work in the life of Samson here in Judges. Samson was born to be a Nazarite, which meant that he was called to be set aside, consecrated, to be different from everyone else. He was designated this from the womb of his mother. The Lord raised up Samson so that he could destroy 40 years worth of oppression from their ancient enemies, the Philistines. It was no question that the Lord was with Samson. It was no question that the Lord was using Samson. And as Samson grew up, he fell in love with a strange woman. He fell in love with a woman who was a Philistine. We find that in Judges 14, verse 2. His parents were grieved. All these pretty women in the house of God. And you want a girl out there? Have you ever heard of why the good girls like bad boys? Why the good boys like bad girls? There's something to that. There is something to you being in the household of faith, but yet something in you is attracted to something that's not like God. It is a spiritual thing. And it comes with a specific purpose against your life. His parents agreed, but God was involved in this situation. Verse 14, chapter 14, verse 4 tells us that God was going to use Samson to destroy the Philistines from the inside out. God calls Samson to want the Philistine woman. Sometimes God will allow us to connect to our enemies for a greater purpose. It's only for a purpose. And you know that it's for a purpose because it's a short season. It don't last long. Tell somebody it don't last long. And it usually turns sour very quickly. And the thing is, you come out with more than you went in. So God connects us to enemies for a season to increase us and to open our eyes to the scheme of the enemy. Samson decides to take this wife, goes down to the feast, He has a 7-day feast for his wife. He presents a riddle to the family, because on his way to the feast, he kills a lion with his bare hands. And then when he comes back, he sees that bees have come inside of the lion's carcass and has started to produce honey. He reaches down and he eats honey. So he gives a riddle to the family about this honey and the lion. No one can figure out the riddle. And so they come to his soon-to-be wife and say, look here, girl, I don't know what you done brought on us. We not trying to give that man none of our stuff. We barely got enough stuff. So you better go in there and ask that man to tell you what the secret to that riddle is. Or else we're going to burn you and your father's house.
Wow.
So she goes in. This man loves this girl. Samson is in love with this girl. Crazy about it. Went against what his parents advised him. She comes in. Samson, please tell me what the answer to the riddle is. If you don't tell me, they're going to kill us. He's like, girl, I even told my mama and daddy. Why would I tell you? So I want to stop right there. Put a pin right there. Have you ever dated someone that tells you, you need to keep people out of our business. Keep your mama and daddy out of our business. This is just us. Notice what Samson said. I haven't even told my mama and daddy. Why would I tell you? Sometimes we remove wise counsel in relationships by keeping people out of our life who's raised us our whole life.
Come on, man. Wow. All right.
Beware of a person that don't want anybody knowing anything about your relationship. That means they're setting you up to control you. That's not even Bible.
Wake up. Come on, Pastor.
So she keeps bothering him to the point where the Bible says she lays sore on him. And when you look at that word sore, distress, it means he started having anxiety, panic attacks. He got so discouraged and depressed because this woman was crying every day for 7 days. Now, some of you men can't raise your hand, but have you ever had a woman that's nagged you nonstop? I mean, from the time you walk in the house, she nagging you. Can't even watch the show. Can't watch the game. Can't eat your food. She get in the bed, nag. I said, don't raise your hand, brother. I'm trying to help you. Silly. Trying to help you. Look straight, brother. Straight. Don't even say amen. Say the spirit. I'm not bashing the women. But sometimes brothers, they bug you too. Ask you to do this. Why you ain't do this? Why my food ain't ready? Why this thing ain't grateful? You've been cleaning all day and looking at the children and all you talking about, you ain't walking the house to help me. You just fussing about what ain't right. So it goes both ways.
Right.
It goes both ways. She nagging him 7 days. Tell me the secret. You don't love me. Love me not. She's manipulating him based upon the fact that he loves her. And so because she bugged him for 7 days, he told her the secret to the riddle. Family came back and told him the riddle. He said, if you hadn't plowed with my heifer, you wouldn't know. Meaning, he wasn't calling her a cow. In other words, he's saying, you wouldn't mess with my woman, you wouldn't know. So then the Lord uses him to destroy many of them. This was the beginning of weakness for Samson. A lot of people have taught that Samson's weakness was that he loved strange women. That wasn't his weakness. His weakness was that he had a sore spot for people that he loved. And some of us, our weakness is that we love too hard and too open. We're very vulnerable when we love. We lose all our sense. We don't want to hear nobody when we fall in love. Fall in love. You don't want to hear nobody. They can set you up. You know why? Yes, ma'am. Fell in too quick. And even if you fall in love at first sight, you better wait that thing out. Because love, when it's not guarded, love, when it's not protected, can be manipulated. Because love is not designed to be a place where you manipulate.
That's right.
Love is designed to be a place where there's supposed to be trust,
That's right.
honesty, real devotion. But when you are in love or connected to a person that say they love you and they manipulate you, they nag at you, they use you, it makes you mistrust. You don't trust. You become numb. You have loose connections with people. Have you ever heard people always say, love you, love you? Many people don't even say, I love you anymore.
Right.
Now, some people, when they say love you, they really mean it. But a lot of people say love you because it's a guarded love. I don't love you all the way because I don't want to get hurt, because I've been hurt. So I'm just going to say love you. So that leaves you far enough away where you can't hurt me, you know, but close enough I can still have you in my life. Guarded love. And God says, I don't want my people to live a guarded love. I want you to live a full love, but still peak game.
See, wow, that was good.
A full love that can peak game. What do I mean by that? You love fully, you love sincerely, you love wholeheartedly, but you can recognize a sucker from a mile away. You can recognize a player from a mile away. You can recognize a witch from a mile away. And you're not going to let her, him, it, or whatever connect this stuff in with you and try to use your love. When you've dealt with people who have used your sincere, pure love for their own control, they have abused you, they've misused you, they've embarrassed you. They said they love you only for personal gain. They didn't mean it. When people do that to you, it gives you a distorted view of love and how it operates. And if you're not careful, you begin to make dangerous decisions in the name of fake love. And how many of us have made dangerous decisions? Thinking that we was loved. Thinking that person loved us. Thinking our friends loved us. Thinking our boss was really looking out for us. And it was not the case. God wants you to be healed. He wants us to be healed of the places where we have been hurt. Samson didn't get the chance to marry this girl. They gave her away to someone else. And she was eventually killed. Can you imagine how broken his heart was? Then he falls in love with another strange woman by the name of Delilah. Now he has a habit. It's one thing when God connects you to an enemy for a season. It's another thing when you purposely choose to connect to your enemy.
Wow.
What do you do when you have that I can't help it with the wrong people? I have so many people say, I keep choosing the wrong people. Why do I keep choosing? Why don't I attract what I want? I attract everything I don't want. Perhaps it's because it's something in you that gives off a scent or a color that says, even though my mouth says I want someone that's going to treat me right, my energy, my spirit says I attract people that abuse because that's all I think I deserve. So Samson falls in love with Delilah. The Philistines found out about it. They came one day to make a deal with her. Now, Delilah, you understand that Samson loves you. We're going to pay you real good if you can find out the source of his secrets. We're going to pay you. We want you to play him. We want you to get down to the core of his secrets. So I want you to see what sleeping with the enemy is really about. It's not about you. It wasn't about Samson. It was about power, deliverance, and advancement. Why? Remember, God raised Samson up to deliver the people from the 40-year bondage of the Philistines. He was the person that God was using to bring deliverance. So when we are connected to enemies on purpose, what we are doing is we are giving our kingdom assignment over to the enemy. Whatever God has put you here to do for his people, for the church, for the kingdom, will be jeopardized if you are sleeping with an enemy. There are people on assignment from hell with the only purpose to trick you that they love you, only to get close enough to find out what makes you operate in your purpose and give it over to the enemy so you can be bound. But the devil is a liar in here today. The Lord has sent this word to challenge you, to wake you up, so that you do not give over your kingdom purpose. You do not give over your destiny. You do not give over your calling, because you are in love. Amen. And you are purposely loving a person that you know is not for you. God says your kingdom purpose is too important. Amen. Look at someone and say, my kingdom purpose is too important. Let that sink in. My kingdom purpose is too important to connect myself intimately with somebody who has made it clear that their assignment is to destroy. Delilah asked Samson 3 times, what is the source of your strength that I may bound you? She didn't hide it. She said, my purpose is to tie you up. My purpose is to get you hemmed up. Have you been there before? Messing with someone who told you to your face. I'm trying to get you hemmed up. All right. We find this in chapter 16, verse 7, verse 11, and verse 14. Each time she asked him, he gave her a false answer. It didn't work. He thought it was funny. Samson knew that he was sleeping with an enemy, yet he continued to entertain her. It's one thing for a person to play you and you don't know that they're playing you. To come in your life and pretend, and you can't discern, you can't pick it up, because we don't always discern.
That's good.
It's one thing for a person to come in and play you and you don't know. It's another thing to willingly and knowingly be playing and messing with someone that means to do you bad. And the question to you today is, how many of us are playing with, sleeping with, entertaining the enemy, and we know it? Now you might be saying, Dr. Jackson, I'm not physically sleeping with an enemy. I want to challenge you that this is bigger than sex.
Come on now.
This is beyond who you are physically sleeping with.
Come on now.
God says today that if you are playing with sin, if you are playing with false teachings, false practices, beliefs, you are entertaining unrighteous people, and you know it's wrong, but you do it because you think it's fun, you are sleeping with the enemy.
Come on now. All right. That's good.
So you might not be physically having sex with an enemy, but you're on your phone all the time with a person that's the enemy you might as well be sleeping with.
Come on, Pastor.
And what happens is kingdom people have a tendency to play with fire. You know how we do that? We toe the line. This is the line. Over there is sin, it's wrong. You're all the way out there. Over here is the righteousness of God. And what we do is we don't go all the way over. We just toe the line. And you think it's funny. You're playing on the line. And God says, I need my people to stop playing on the line. And I need you to make a decision to go all the way over in me.
Come on now.
Because what's going to happen is you're going to think you're towing the line, and you're going to look up and you're going to be so far over the line that you don't even realize that you're out the will of God. Playing with the enemy. Playing with things that you know is not right. Reading stuff that you know is not right. Looking at stuff that you know is going to get you caught up. Doing stuff that you know gets your flesh in trouble easily.
That's good.
You are sleeping with the enemy. And God says, stop towing the line. But you know why we tow the line, Presbytery? You know why we tow the line? Because when you are chosen, when you are gifted, when you are anointed, there is a protective deliverance mechanism that's involved. What do I mean by that? We know that because we're chosen and anointed, and we're doing the work of God, He will always come and deliver us. So I'll play all I want to because I know God's going to get me out. I know, all I know is I got to cry and go on a fast and seek the Lord, and he'll get me out. So I keep going over. I keep playing, sleeping with the enemy because I know God's going to get me out because it's about the kingdom. Ooh, you better hear me today. Playing because we know Daddy's going to come get me out of trouble. Have you ever seen rich kids who always get in trouble and they don't care because they know their rich daddy will come get them out of jail, and the rich daddy can afford the best attorney, and the rich daddy knows everybody, so the boy keeps doing whatever he wants to because he knows there's no repercussion for his behavior. And a lot of kingdom people live their life recklessly because they know God's going to get you out.
Come on now.
Because you know you got something in you that's great enough that God will get you even out of mess that you put yourself in.
That's so good.
And then we call that grace. That's not grace. Grace says, I know I'm wrong. I know I'm a mess. And I need God's help. Grace isn't, I'm going to do my little do because I know God's going to get me out, or this is just going to be my issue and God's just going to have to deal with it. That's not grace. God says, people of God, you're going to get in a mess thinking I'm going to get you out and I'm going to leave you in there one day.
Wow.
That's good. All right. Wow. That's good, Bishop.
When is that going to happen?
Don't know.
You don't know.
That's right.
But we should get to a place in our Christian life where we don't even want to play with that.
That's right.
That's right.
Ah, holiness is right. Y'all quiet today. Some of y'all rolling your eyes.
That's good stuff.
That's a sign you might be over in reprobation already. No, seriously. Because when you hear the truth of the word, it might offend, it might convict, but it should never get you to the point where you reject it.
That's right.
If you're in the place where you reject the word, you're in reprobation. And you can be in reprobation in one area and be in truth in all the others.
Wow. Wow.
Help us.
Wow.
Samson knew he was sleeping with the enemy. She tried to set him up 3 times. Yet he stayed in the mess.
Yeah.
But the tables turned. Chapter 16, verse 15. She said something she didn't say in the other verses. She said unto him, how canst thou say, I love thee, when thy heart is not with me? She tapped into his weakness. She said, this man loves me. Because let's be honest, only love will make you act like a fool like that. Oh, come on, can we tell the truth that love has made us do some crazy things? Made us act a fool, made us embarrass ourselves. We've done a lot of stuff in the name of love. She knew that was his weakness. She tapped into it. She said, I know how to get this man. He lived me. I don't love him because I'm paid to destroy him. I'm going to be very rich after this.
Wow.
She pressed him daily once she pushed the heart button. And because he was so in love, he gave over his secrets, which put the kingdom in jeopardy.
Wow.
Can I give you 3 tips to help you avoid this love trick? Because God says many of you are in a love trap right now.
All right.
It might not be a person, it might be a friend. Some of you got friends, you know they're no good for you. Everything you tell them, you already know it's going to the streets. Some of you all are working in companies that treat you like a dog, but if you're not there, the company will fall on its face. They know it, you know it, but you're still there, even though they treat you like crap. How do you avoid this trick? 1, you have to believe people's actions over their words.
Right.
Actions speak louder than words. You can say whatever you want to say all day, but if your actions don't match your words, then your words mean nothing to me.
Right.
Have you ever heard a person say, I love you, but it didn't sound right in their mouth? Love in your mouth sounds like I hate you.
Come on.
The words is I love you, but it sounds and it feels like hate.
Yep.
Or you might love me, but you hate me at the same time. It's called love-hate. You have someone who loves you and hates you at the same time?
Wow.
Those are the harder ones to get rid of because they do kind of love you, but they can't stand you too.
Come on.
Sometimes they love and hate you at the same time. Those are the most dangerous ones because they love you so you open up, but then they'll use your love against you when they get mad at you. And it can be in the same setting sometimes. So you have to be able to smell the toxic in people's love speech. Shut up. Smell the toxic in people's love speech. You can say you love me all day long, but I smell something else still like love. So I don't believe your words. Yes, Mother, Lord Jesus. Yes. Secondly, you got to toughen up. You have to learn how to love toughly. Who all has raised children or helped to raise children? Anybody knows that if you're not tough in your love, you're going to be taken advantage of. You can't let kids do what they want to do. You can get mad all you want to. No, you can't go over there because I don't know those people. You're not going to that house. No, you're not going to the party because I'm supposed to clean up your room. And you didn't clean up your room. It smells like a locker room. You're not going. You can be mad. You can cry. You can say it's not fair. You can tell me you hate me. You can be dragging your lip to the ground, to the grass. I don't care because I'm your mama or I'm your daddy. I pay the bills in this house. And you're going to do what I tell you to do. Get mad if you want. But if you're a person that as soon as they start crying, okay, well, go ahead. They get mad, well, go ahead. You are raising a monster. Because if you want discipline, the police going to discipline. Somebody's going to discipline. That gang leader going to beat them into submission. So just like in parenting, we have to have the same posture in our relationships. I love you, but not to the point where you're going to make me surrender all.
Come on now.
I love you, but not to the point where I'm going to let you jeopardize my kingdom assignment.
Right.
I love you, but not to the point where you're going to make me choose to be a fool. And all I get from it is your words. Is my kingdom purpose worth your words? Is my kingdom purpose worth an emotion? And we have to get to the place where we decide that we want God, His purpose, more than a feeling, more than a person, more than an experience. You have to get to a place where you can nag, you can cry, you can talk about me, you can manipulate me. I'm not backing down on what I know to be true.